I'm going to give every Vanarama national team in Football Manager a huge upgrade into all of their stadiums to the maximum capacity possible. Using the in-game editor, I can set the stadium facilities to the maximum of 150,000 seater capacity, whilst also setting up the maximum and minimum attendances for every team in the league at 150,000 seater as well. And this is a dynamic number, meaning that it will change throughout as we simulate further forward, due to how the club performs and whether they keep their fans happy. So if they keep stagnating in the Vanarama National League, it might start lowering quite drastically. We should also see the bank balances of these clubs skyrocket from which they've never seen before, because right now there are some very bleak bank balances. I've also given each stadium undersoil heating and a roof to give the best stadium condition possible. So with every stadium capacity and attendances altered, we can simulate to find out what happened next. Now, my mate Tom FM, of course, showcased an excellent video with just one team having these changes, so I'm interested to see the different outcomes. I stopped it at the World Cup break because I want to see how big these finances are going to be. Now, we can see Solihull Moors is at the top, so it's a little bit different from what we usually see, but I can see some names which I wouldn't expect to see maybe in the Vanarama National League. So I know Wrexham had the highest bank balance, and it was definitely not 26 million. It was around about 6 million. So they've gained about 20 million just from attendances already. So 150,000 there we can see from pretty much every single game that they're getting. 150,000 obviously home and away because the other teams like it as well. They've also got Gary Monk as their manager now. So if we go down the list and we look at the finances here, just look at how much they are compared to what they were previously. The lowest was under 100,000, and now every single one is at least 20 million, which of course is going to play a big part. At the end of the first season, Solihull Moors are the champions of the Vanarama National League, with Wrexham going up in the playoffs. They defeated Eastleigh in the final 2-0. Notts County, of course, finishing in third place. Quite unlucky, really. But the teams going down, Southend, Torquay, Wealdstone and Maidenhead, are hopefully still going to have the money and the infrastructure to bring themselves straight back up, because they are still getting at the end of the season here, despite already being relegated, 150,000 at home to Barnet, which they actually won 2-0. So they're going to take that into the Vanarama North or South, depending on which one they go to. Teams like Barnet, who are in like mid-table mediocrity right now, they've got £51 million in the Vanarama National League. So you expect to see them jump up very soon. But again, there's only two teams that can go up. So it's almost like a catch-22 here. It's how long do they stay in the Vanarama National League, because you've got only two teams coming in, Crewe and Crawley, who have stadiums of 10,000, which probably, and bank balances of less than $1 million there for Crawley, or for Crewe, sorry, and Crawley's even less, 6,000 with bank balance of 4 million. So they've got a bit of a bigger bank balance, but they're no way are going to be able to compete with the teams in here. So you'd like to think that in possibly 10 years time, we're going to see a lot of Vanarama National League clubs out of this division, and maybe just a couple left in who just failed to use their advantage. Okay, the second season, Eastleigh and Notts County are the two clubs that are promoted. I definitely expected Notts County to go up, but it's good to see Eastleigh have also managed to go up with £40 million just short in their bank balance, so that's absolutely fantastic. Crawley and Crewe actually did really well. They finished in 6th and 4th there, and if you take a look at the difference that they're playing in matches, oh my god, the drop-off already. So, Halifax have had 142,000 game there, but York down to 75. What a huge drop-off. 35,000, 34,000, 32,000. Huge drop-offs already. So, Altrincham. If we go to Altrincham, they're already dropping off, but they're still somehow having games against, like, Barnet. So, what's happened with Altrincham then? So, even though the maximum club attendance is it's gone down to 290, 200 and whatever it is there. That's really low. That's phenomenally low. Has that really dropped off that bad? I was really worried that I've missed out certain clubs, but I've just gone back to the very start, and Altrincham, I've done it. As maximum club attendance, minimum club attendance, all at 150,000. So it's dropped off that much in just 2 seasons. So yeah, I'm quite surprised at that. Now, the only club to go down, which already had the big stadium, is Maidstone with their 150,000. 3 clubs that came up are actually going down. I can't work out what club it was. Yeah, it was Ebbsfleet, who have come up and managed to stay there. They finished in 14th place. They did really well. But yeah, I can't believe that drop off. Now, Eastleigh, who finished top of the division, what attendances are they pulling in for their home games? Around about 47,000 there. And every now and then there's just like one club who's managed to really hold on. So Scunthorpe there have done really well. They've managed to get like 150,000 quite often. So I don't understand why that's changed. I'm really puzzled. If anybody knows the format or why that happens, let's have a look at the next division though. And how have Wrexham done? Wrexham have qualified again for another promotion. Finishing in second place, they've gone straight back up. Solihull Moors, the complete opposite. They were just a couple of goals away. They finished on the same points as Cambridge, down there in 22nd place. So they have not done very well, despite having 53 million in the bank and 150,000 seater stadium, which they are still pulling in around about 143. 150,000 there against Wrexham. So I want to see Wrexham. They still got Gary Monk there. Back-to-back promotions. Phenomenal stuff from them. They are pulling in roughly about 140 to 145 every single game. So that's fantastic. They're going to be the first one into Sky Bet League 1. Great to see. Okay, I've moved forward another 2 seasons. Some interesting things have occurred. Now, Crewe, who of course came down that first season, don't have a very big stadium, only 10,000 seater with 3.3 million in the bank. They have won the Vanarama National League. The other team that came down, Crawley, is still in that division. Bromley are going up this season. Oldham went up as champions last season. If we go into Sky Bet League 2, though, we can see Solihull Moors have stayed on for the last 2. Eastleigh, of course, who have won the second year, have gone up in the 4th year. Sutton are already in there. So there's a couple of teams that I need to check. So Woking's one of them. So they've managed to get... They've got Jimmy Ford Hasselbank as their manager. I don't know whether that's a real life thing or not. I'm not quite sure. I need to check because some of these teams obviously are already in Sky Bet League 2 and some of them aren't. And I'm unsure which one's which. Birmingham have dropped down to Sky Bet League 2 already. That's really fast for them to do that. Notts County, of course, are up here. So into Sky Bet League 1. Is it just Wrexham who have come up? Maybe they've gone up again. Hold! They've gone up again! Wrexham have gone up again. That's fantastic to see. Right, okay. So we've got our first club in the Championship now, because they're not in Sky Bet League 1. They must be in the Championship. And yes, they finished in 18th place. They are skipping leagues straight away. So that's back-to-back-to-back promotions there. 3 promotions on the bounce there. 4th season, they didn't get promotion to the Premier League. But that's not... Why are they playing at the Principality Stadium? Why have they moved from a different stadium? Oh, is it because they have already got in the game that they are upgrading? So stadium capacity increases 16,000, even though it was up to 150,000. Then they moved the Principality completed, temporarily relocated to Principality. So I am really confused what's going to happen with Wrexham. But at the minute, they're at the Principality Stadium, which is a 75,000 seater, which is still good. But it's half the size of where they were previously. And they were pulling in the attendances for that, which is such a shame. So 2024 is when it changed. We can see in 2024, they were getting attendances of 142. The next season, they moved to the Principality, and they are not getting that. They're gone to their 16,000 racecourse stadium. Oh, that's so annoying, because that's the one team that managed to get promotion into the Championship. We're going to have to rely on other clubs to do that now. They've got 16 million in the bank, which is not a lot. So any teams in the Sky Bet League 1, I don't think there is. So I think we're still waiting on other clubs to catch up in Sky Bet League 2. Of course, Eastleigh are going to be that team. They've got 85 million. So they are still getting all of that money in, and they're still getting 142,000 seats or capacity every single week by the looks of it. Okay, I've skipped forward to 2030, so we're about 8 years into the future, maybe 7 seasons, 8 seasons, roughly about that. We can see Carlisle and Cambridge are the current clubs going up, but there are still quite a lot of clubs in this division who will have that 100,000, 150,000 seater stadium. So there is going to be quite a few, Dorking being one of them. We've got Gateshead still here. There's quite a few going through. Maidenhead, Maidstone. So, yeah, there's still a few teams who have yet... Southend being one who obviously went down and then come back up. There's still a few teams who haven't yet managed to get out of this division. And still teams going down. Wellston and Maidstone still going down, despite them having quite a lot of money and a huge stadium. I wonder then, are they just not pulling in fans? They're still pulling in 75,000 people every single home game. What is happening here? So I haven't really looked at any of these other than what you've seen. So the minimum club attendance is slightly going down. That's due to their reputation obviously being in a lower division and fans just being unhappy, obviously. Now, in Sky Bet League 2, who are we seeing here that maybe have been promoted from? We haven't seen any. Really? So, Coventry, Birmingham's going back up. Oldham are going up, which is good. That's one of the teams here. We can see quite a lot of them are in this division. The likes of Halifax and Solihull Moors, Dagenham and Redbridge, for instance. There's still quite a few that's in this division. Have they managed to just go up as like secondary winners? Because, of course, there's 4 teams that go up in each of these divisions. So Notts County are getting promoted again into the Championship. That's good. Woking as well. Eastleigh just missing out. Okay, we've got quite a few clubs who are going to be in and around the Championship. Maybe we can get one into the Premier League quite soon. Bromley are there surviving in 16th place though. So Bromley, they're down to 140,000. So Bromley's built a new stadium, which is less than what they were in already, but they still built it at 140,000. Which is phenomenal. They got 74 million. They're still pulling in quite a lot of people too. 135,000. The game must be going like, hold on, we need a new step. Gary Monk's there as well, the old Wrexham manager. The game must be going mental and not knowing what to do. Notts County, 150,000. They're still at Meadow Lane, and they are still pulling in 150,000 in away games against Woking there. Against Plymouth, 142,000. They're still getting so many. They're still getting so many fans. So I don't quite know why some of them have dropped off drastically compared to others. It is quite fun to see that being different, I guess, than just all being the same and having one outcome. Now, do we have any clubs in the Premier League? Now, Leeds are going up with Blackburn and Sunderland. Do we have any clubs? So there's Wrexham. We don't have Wrexham in the Premier League at the minute. Forest Green, were you? No, Forest Green weren't. I don't think I can see any other National League sides. So I think it is literally just Wrexham right now, who are again at the Principality Stadium. So they've got half of the advantage. They've only got 17 million. So we really need one of these clubs going up to do better. And thankfully, I think obviously we've got one of them. They're still filling out that stadium though. I mean, that's a derby. The Cardiff match there, 75,000. They're just 500 short of actually. Oh no, that is the maximum capacity. So they're still filling it out. It's just such an annoyance that that's happened. Unless there is one that's snuck by and I haven't seen. No. Okay. So we haven't got any in there yet. Well, let's find out if there is. 2035, 5 years later, a brief look at the Vanarama National League, and a lot of the clubs in here now are not affected. Of course, there's still the likes of York who are there, but they've still got like 8 million. They've never really gone up. They've gone down and just come back into this division. So there's still some clubs who have just not benefited from this at all, which is quite funny, really. Yeovil being another one. I think Wealdstone's there, obviously. Maidenhead, 115,000 now because they've decided to build a new stadium. Still with 40 million in their bank and still pulling roughly 75,000, 80,000 there. Yeah, still really good attendances. Now, in the Sky Bet League 2, I don't want to see a lot of the clubs that we recognise. So there's a few going up. Aldershot, Southend, Dagenham, Redbridge and Torquay. 4 clubs going up, all for the Vanarama National League. We can see so many more. Halifax, Boreham Wood. All of these clubs started off with this huge 100, and they're all building new stadiums with less. And they've still got 219 million in the bank as Boreham Wood. Aldershot going up as champions. Still got the stadium that we gave them. Still pulling in 146,000. I was going to say million then. It's not quite. They've got 100 million in the bank. That's good to see. Right, now, if we go into Sky Bet League 1, who are we going to see? I don't want to see somebody like... I mean, Wrexham wouldn't be too bad because we know they don't have that advantage now. Bromley going up as champions. Oldham, Barnet. There's another 3 going up. Okay, Solihull Moors. That's good. Dorking, Woking. So we need more of them, at least in the Championship. Who have we got in the Championship here? Eastleigh, 3rd place. Eastleigh are in 3rd place. Have they gone up yet? They haven't. They haven't. This is the highest that they've been. They finished in 9th place before that. This is the highest that they've been. Wrexham are still here. Wrexham finished in 3rd place last season and 4th place the season before that. They haven't yet gone up. Is it just these two? Notts County as well? Notts County have been a bit of a yo-yo team in the Championship, going close to the playoffs and then back down. Okay, but we still don't have anybody in the Premier League that we know of. No. Okay, so we're 13 years on and still no club has managed to pull themselves into the Premier League. Eastleigh have come close this year, still got the 150,000 seater, but only 4 million in the bank. Why is that? Because they're still pulling in 145,000 in home games, even though it's like we're way into the future now. Why is their bank balance so low? I don't know. Their reputation's good. Let's keep going. Right, we're 20 years into the future now. It's 2042. I don't want to see any clubs down here. There still is, but I didn't really want to see any. All I want to see in here is Sky Bet League 1 and 2 clubs that start off, obviously. So there is still a few that's suffering. Maidstone still got the 150,000 seater stadium. Harvey Elliott's their manager. They are not getting any fans at all. 11,000. 11,000 in a 150,000 seater stadium. It would look awful. Okay, moving on then. Into Sky Bet League 2. Hopefully we'll see a lot of Championship clubs here. Boreham Wood going up. Dagenham, Redbridge, Torquay. Portsmouth, Peterborough. Yeah, Birmingham's still there. Okay, there's less clubs than what I thought there would be. So there could be quite a lot in Sky Bet League 1. There is Dorking, Solihull Moors, Gateshead. So that's 2 out of the Vanarama and Ashley going into the Championship this season. Halifax is there. Aldershot's just going down. Into the Championship though. This is promising. This is promising that we have some in the Premier League. Notts County, Bromley are in 3rd place. Notts County are in 8th. Oldham in 9th. Good. Barnet there in 15th. Eastleigh down in 18th. Wrexham have just been relegated. Woking are in 21st. Did Wrexham ever go up? No. Wrexham have been in the Championship all that time. They've got another new stadium. They've got another new stadium, 140,000 seater, 97 million. Where has that come from, by the way? Because we didn't change anything and we're only about 7 years in. 7 years on. That's phenomenal. 297 million in the bank for Barnet there. Bromley, who are the highest, got a new stadium, Bromley Stadium, 38 million only in the bank. That's probably because they've just built a new stadium. Right, into the Premier League. Oh, did Bromley ever go up? They haven't. Okay. Maybe Notts County then? Chesterfield are 150,000. They've been in the Championship for a while. Maybe Notts County. No. Eastleigh? Possibly. Eastleigh have also not gone up. I'm so shocked by this. Woking also haven't gone up. They've been Championship club. Oldham? No. Okay. The Premier League? Do you have any clubs in there? I can't believe we still don't have any clubs in there. I mean, I'm going to do a double check, but there's still no clubs that I recognise going up and coming back down from the Vanarama National League, and we are 20 years into the future. It finally happened! In 2044, we have got Chesterfield, who survived their first season in the Premier League. They did very well. They finished 1st in the Championship last season with Tommy Elphick as their manager as well. They've got their Technique Stadium of 150,000 seater. They've only got 17 million in the bank, but they had a good budget. What are they bringing in the Premier League? Home games, 120,000, 101,000 there against Watford, which is the shirt I'm wearing, funny enough. Got it in a mystery box while I went to Football Manager Studios. That's the only club that I can see right now. By the way, Watford finishing 4th, which is quite good for them. Now, this is the reason why I want some things to change in the game, because Manchester City winning the league so many times here when we're 20 years into the future, when if you go back 20 years, they were in like the 3rd division, is the reason why I want to see more randomness, because if you look at all the past winners, how boring is that? It's just Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea 1 or 2 times, and Newcastle. So it's all clubs who are good and have money. You don't see any other new clubs in the top 4, in the top 3 there. That's so boring in 20 years. Like, that's the reason why I want different things to happen. We give a huge advantage to 24 clubs, and nothing has changed in the top 4. That should not happen. And in real life, it doesn't happen. So, I mean, come on. Let's go forward a little bit more. All right, 3 years later, and we can see some promising things, such as Barnet being relegated. I know. That's like the most positive thing that we have here. Man City won the league again. Watford are actually up in 3rd and Forest are in 4th. So, where I mentioned there where I don't see many in the top 4, it took 25 years for that to happen. Into the Championship, though, this is what I like to see. We've got Wrexham coming up through the playoffs. We've got quite a few clubs in there. Woking, Dorking, Bromley, Oldham. Let's hope Eastleigh, Gateshead. Let's hope a few of these can make a big push. Chesterfield are up in 3rd place. They just missed out there. Let's see if we can get a few of these into the Premier League, and then maybe one of them can stick around and build on something here. In the Sky Bet League 1, we're going to see quite a lot of Championship clubs in and around here, as well as a lot of the clubs that we have. So the likes of Stoke, obviously, from the Championship, are paired with Aldershot and Plymouth going up. Boreham Wood, we've got Maidenhead, FC Halifax, Torquay, Dagenham Redbridge. A lot of these Vanarama National League clubs are here. There's a few less in the Sky Bet League 2. We can see some more Championship clubs. The likes of Swansea, who have obviously just been promoted there. Birmingham are still down here. Going into the Vanarama National League, there's still a few clubs that have obviously stagnated in this division, but not as many as what maybe I thought it would be at the start. Altringham's being one of them. They've got now only a 47,000 seater stadium after not being able to fill their stadium. So the Mark Maddox Arena was built and they got hardly any money. They're still bringing in no they're not. They're bringing in 4,000. So Altringham's probably gone way back into what it was previously. So the clubs that didn't quite make it never held on. They still have 150 seaters in the stadium there. But they are only bringing in 6,000. That's going to look horrendous at Maidstone. That's going to look absolutely terrible. 30 years into the future, we're at 2052. Newcastle are your champions. West Ham are the first winners outside of the clubs that you would expect to be winning at this point. It took until 2050 before a club like West Ham managed to build a title push, which is horrendous if you really think about that. Man City actually finished in 13th. And still managed to qualify for the Champions League. What? I'm not seeing Manchester United here, by the way. So they must have been relegated. Barnet are the club that have been relegated from the Vanarama National League who are in this. And other than that, I don't see any other clubs. That's kind of worrying. Tottenham going down there as well. So, in the Sky Bet Championship, Manchester United have just been promoted. So they finished 18th place in the Premier League. They had 2 seasons in the Championship, 3 seasons in the Championship, and then got promoted. Wrexham are going up. Bromley are also been there. So how many times has Wrexham been up? Wrexham have been the yo-yo club. Wrexham have been a complete yo-yo club. They've been going up and down into the Premier League and out of the Premier League. So if we go to the Premier League then and go on stages, let's just look at the relegation zone. Because we're going to see, so Blackburn relegated plus Europa League, which is quite funny. Bromley and Scunthorpe, Chesterfield. They've got Wrexham there. Yeah, so Barnet, Wrexham, Bromley, Leicester. There's a few times when a club has survived up there, the likes of Chesterfield, who have done... Occasionally they've got to the Premier League and stayed there, but it's not quite happened. And I'm kind of worried, why is that happening? So Barnet here going down, they have Mohamed Kudus as their manager. They still have the Hive, which is a 150,000 seater stadium. They have £181 million in the bank with a season budget of 96 million, a remaining budget of 131. They're just not spending the money. They're not spending it. Their home games, they're still bringing in 150. They're selling out. They're selling out games against Aston Villa, and they're just not buying players. They spent 66 million, but they sold 64. The players that they're bringing in are crap. £22 million. This guy doesn't look too bad, actually. A youngster, but still, he is awful. Why you got 180 million in the bank and you're not spending it very wisely at all. You're bringing in players for £20 million. You need to be bringing in more than that. You got the money to do it, and that's the reason why. The AI just does not know how to use money. That's a shame. Let's take a look, though. If we go at the other leagues and go into the Vanarama National League, who is still there? Maidenhead are probably still here. No, they aren't actually. Oh, Maidstone, sorry, it was, wasn't it? Maidstone are there. They got their own stadium now, so they've moved to a 79,000 seater in 2048. Don't know why they opened up an 80,000 seater when they are still only getting 5,000. So they obviously just had too much money to know what to do with. So they've just decided to just go along with it. Port Vale have just been promoted. There's a few clubs down there, but if I go up through the divisions, you're going to see quite a lot of like the championship clubs at the start of the game in these divisions. The likes of Hull and Bristol City, they've all been affected by this. And obviously the clubs from the Vanarama National League that we give that boost to, they're sitting around the Sky Bet League 1 and the Championship mostly, and they're kind of just going up and down from those two divisions. There are not a lot of them going up and then just staying up. It is funny seeing Man United in the Championship though, I must admit, but there's so many Vanarama National League clubs in that division that I'm quite surprised with. So there we have it. What do you think of this experiment? Why do you think the AI is so bad? And can we please have something to make it a little bit more random? I'm fed up of seeing Manchester City just win the league every single season at the end when we do these experiments and you go 30 years into the future. I want to see a little bit more randomness. Give us some sliders. We can alter things that happen. That will be great. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye-bye.